Demand. I'm John Guyton, and this is John Guyton Studios. We're live on Facebook. Turn my headphones up. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on Instagram, and we're live on YouTube. Yeah, that's where we're at. We're gonna change things up just a little bit. Shout out to Kevin G. Good job. Give me some feedback. Shout out to Andres. Thank you for the feedback. Shout out to Anthony. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it. What we're gonna do today is a little different. Well, it's not that different. What we're gonna start with is just in case you aren't familiar with what we're doing here. Here's how it goes. You know how sometimes rappers will say, "Hey, give me a word, give me something," right? Put something in the comments, and I'm gonna do a rap about it. Well, I'm not gonna do a rap for you today, but I am gonna do a motivational talk. It's called Motivational on Demand. Motivation on demand. No prep. No prep. No, we're not gonna take 10 minutes to get ready or anything like that. You say the word, I'll put it in there. So now's your turn. It's the ball's in your court. Just get down in the comments. Doesn't matter if you're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, you're on LinkedIn, you're on Facebook. Just put your comments in there, and then if you give me a word, if you give me a phrase or something you want to talk about, then I'll work it in. And if I see it during the talk, I will work it in on the fly. Yeah. Difference between today and yesterday and other days is when I get started, we're going to try to fade the music off, really. It's just going to be me and you. That's it. Yeah, we can turn it up now, but it's going to be off here in a minute. Yeah. All right. So get in those chats, get in those comments, and give me something to work with here. Just going to pretend to write while we do this. If it's your first time, welcome. If it's not your first time, welcome back to Motivation on Demand. It's kind of fun. No idea what we're going to talk about until we talk about it. You know what I mean? All right, but I do need a word. All right, put something up. All right, looks like we got perspective. All right, perspective. And you know what? We're going to roll with it. Let's do it. You can still throw words in, guys, but I got perspective. We're going to run with it. I think we got some more stuff we're going to work through. Saying no. Oh, man. I like that. Saying no. Okay, so we have perspective and we have saying no. All right, let's get it. We're gonna kick those two off. That's gonna be the main ingredients. If you wanna throw in some sides, you wanna throw in some spices, toss it in. Goal crushing. Oh man, this is getting out of hand. Goal crushing. We got saying no, perspective, and goal crushing. Cool. All right. A few years ago, I was at a networking event. Now, this is probably a couple hundred people at this networking event. It was me by myself, and then I was there to meet a bunch of folks, right? You know, you pass out business cards and you talk about what you do and all that. And it was just me there and one other brother there. Now, when I say brother, I mean brother, right? So it's a couple hundred people, me and another brother there, right? And I hadn't met him yet, but I seen him. And we're at this event and I'm doing my thing, right? I'm working the room. It's going pretty well for me, right? Getting some cards, having conversations, meeting business professionals. And at that point, I run into the brother and he comes up to me. And the first thing he says is, "Hey, man, don't waste your time. These white folks ain't treating us right." I said, "What?" He said, "Hey, man, don't waste your time. These white folks ain't treating us right." I said, "What do you mean? Like, what's going on?" And so he tells me, and I can see kind of some pain in his eyes a little bit. He said, he said, I see people talking. It'll be a group of 3 or 4 people. I see them talking and everything's fine. But as soon as I go over there and I go join the group, and as soon as I start talking, boom, they've got to go to the bathroom and take a phone call, and they just disperse. And I'm not stupid. I know what's going on. And I could just see the pain in his eyes. But as soon as he started talking, as soon as we started talking, I knew what the problem was, and I had to help him. So I said, look, I'm gonna tell you something, man. I said, it ain't because you're black. Like, I know what's going on, and I feel you, but it ain't because you're black. I said, as serious as I could, I said, it's your breath. It's your breath. This brother's breath was so bad, it was offensive. It was offensively bad. You ever been around somebody that their breath was offensively bad? This was that level. It was repulsive, right? I said, look, man, your breath. He said, really? You're doing all this? I said, but lucky for you, I've got some breath mints. Now I always stay with I'm about to make my own breath mints because they don't pay me. But I got these green ones, Curiously Strong mints. I'm gonna make my own breath mints. But anyway, so I always carry a pack of these breath mints, right? And so I gave him a few, said crunch them up, and crunch those up, and then I gave him a few more. I said, handle that, and we'll fade music down. But then it said, look, I said, now, he did his thing. I said, I watched him. I watched him go back out there and do the same thing he was doing, right? Go talk to people and have conversations. And his day got immediately better. People stopped having to go to the bathroom. They stopped the phone call. They stopped dispersing whenever he would speak. His day got immediately better. And so, based on these events, I've concluded that breath mints reduce racism by up to 83%. Now, clearly, this is a lesson in perspective. How you see what you're looking at is everything. And if you're looking for something, you're going to find it. If you're looking to be disrespected, you'll find it. If you're looking for racism, you'll find it. If you're looking for unfair treatment, you'll find it. And sometimes it's there. But your perspective is what matters. Your perspective is what the most important thing is. This brother had an immediately better day because he improved his breath. He improved something that he can control, went back out there and did his thing. Now, I'm not saying, I don't want anybody, what are you trying to say? Racism doesn't exist? No, of course it exists. But what I'm telling you is to do everything in your power to remove all other plausible outcomes, all other plausible explanations. Remove all of those things so that maybe all there is left is those that you're talking about, right? Maybe that's it. But you can't really say it with confidence until you've done all the things that you need to do. I think it's important to start saying no to allowing unfair outcomes to be attributed to things you can't control. I'll say that again. It's time to start saying no to attributing to when you have unfair outcomes, to attribute those unfair outcomes to something that you can't control. There's a difference between fault and responsibility. I heard this first from Will Smith, actually. It may not be your fault. Something may not be your fault that it happened. There's a lot of things that aren't your fault, but it's always your responsibility to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move yourself forward. In this example, you got the brother at the networking event. Now, what if he had come to me and he said, hey, man, don't even worry about it, man. These white folks ain't treating us right. And then I said, yeah, really? And based on that, I said, really? Is that true? I said, forget it. And what if we just left? What if I said, man, that's right, man. Let's get out of here. And we just left. What a missed opportunity to connect with others and whatnot. And for him, what a missed opportunity to get his breath in order. Luckily, he ran into the right person that was going to help him through his perspective, right? The challenge for perspective. So you got to start saying no to attributing unfair outcomes or undesirable outcomes to things that you can't control. Why? Because if you're attributing something to something you can't control, how helpless is that? What action item can you take? What thing can you do to improve your situation? Nothing in your control, because the thing had nothing to do with you in the first place. If you want a powerful answer, you have to ask a powerful question, right? So when something happens, you should ask yourself, What can I do to improve my results? What can I do to improve my results? So here are some steps you can follow. Something happens. It doesn't matter what it is. You didn't get the job, you didn't get the promotion, you got passed up for something like that, right? I mean, you're on this journey to go goal crushing, right? I mean, you want to go crush your goals. Things are going to happen like this. You're going to get these hiccups that are going to happen. And sometimes it's going to look like it's because of something you have no control over. Like, hey, they're all buddy, and I didn't go to the same school they went to, and they're all part of the same alumni. So of course they're going to give it to him. Or, of course she's going to get the job because of this reason or that reason. Or because it's a guy's club and I'm a woman, or vice versa. Or, hey, it's because I'm black, or hey, it's because, and it might look that way. And you know what? It might be that. But even if it is, you still want to follow these steps. Number one, remove the thing from the equation. So whether it's you're black, woman, you didn't go to the same school, you're not dressed the same, doesn't matter what it is, just remove that from the equation. So whatever it is, let's just use, I didn't get the job, right? Let's just use that as an example. I didn't get the job. Don't say, I didn't get the job because I'm black, or I didn't get the job because I'm a woman, or I didn't get the job because I didn't go to Harvard. Don't say that. Just say, I didn't get the job. Replace the thing you can't control with as many plausible explanations as you possibly can. Example, maybe it's I didn't get the job because I didn't arrive to the interview on time. Or I didn't get the job because my resume is a little light. I didn't get the job because I didn't have as many references as others. Or I didn't get the job because I don't have as much industry experience. Or I didn't get the job because, right? There's all these different things that are plausible explanations. They all have one thing in common. It's something you can control. That's what all the plausible explanations have in common, is something that you can control. How empowering is that? You get to control it. So step one, remove, let's just say race or whatever it is, remove the thing from the equation. Step two is replace it with plausible explanations. Step three is to ask yourself, what can I do to improve my results? What can I do to improve my results? Well, in this case, it's show up early, get more references, gain some industry experience, that type of thing, right? All these, there's a whole list of things that you could do. So you do that. And then step four, get to work. Get to work. Simple. Trust me, it's way more empowering for you to take control of the outcomes in your life than to give control to someone else, or give control to something else, or give control to an idea that you can't impact. You take responsibility, even if it's not your fault. Perspective is powerful. Perspective is everything. You might not have heard this, or maybe you have heard this, the predicament of the pedestrian. You probably never heard it say that way because I titled it myself. The predicament of the pedestrian. It goes like this. There is a man who is walking down the street, minding his own business, listening to some music in his headphones, and a young lady was texting while driving. She veered over, jumped the curb, and runs the guy over. Runs him over. So now we're at the hospital, and after the doctor comes in and talks to the man, he says, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, there's no surgery that I can do to get you back whole without a whole ton of work from you. This is going to take years of physical therapy. This is going to take so much work. We're going to have to do multiple surgeries just to get you to start healing in the right way. And then after you start healing in the right way, your muscles are going to atrophy. I mean, you are looking at a multi-year journey of gruesome work. This is going to become your full-time job over the next 3 to 4 years just to get back to walking, let alone running a marathon or doing anything else you want to do, playing a sport. You're going to take 3-4 years to get yourself just back to normal. And the guy hears that and he becomes enraged and he says, this is not fair. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't break any laws. She's the one who was texting while driving. She's the one who jumped the curb. She should be the one who has to deal with all this stuff for years, not me. This is not fair. Is he right? Yeah, he's right. But does it matter? No, it doesn't matter. The world's a little cruel like that. It doesn't matter. Yeah, he didn't do anything wrong. Yes, it's not his fault that that happened to him. It's not his fault. He was just a pedestrian walking down the street and somebody ran him over. It's not his fault. But if he wants to walk again, if he wants to live a normal life, if he wants a chance at running a marathon one day or playing a sport again or walking without pain, he's going to have to do the work. It's his responsibility. Understand this now. You all haven't been run over by a car, but you have had an unfair circumstance knock you down. Think about your own life and some unfair circumstance that knocked you down. Was it your fault? Well, if it's an unfair circumstance, it surely wasn't your fault. But what's the aftermath of that? What do you do after the thing happens to you? You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you move yourself forward. You take responsibility for the outcomes in your life. You know, some people ask, are we live? Marvin, yes, we're live. This is 100% definitely live. Yeah, I got your comment, and I'm commenting back. It's very important at that point when you have something in your life and you say, look, something unfair has happened. When something unfair happens, right? When something knocks you down, what happens? Emotional response, right? You get an emotional response. That's natural. That's normal. But what you do next is completely up to you. Here's what I like to do. You can take a 3x5 card or a piece of paper and you write down, and I want you to write it down. Don't just think it. Don't just say it. I want you to write it down. Write down what happened and what was the result, right? Maybe it made you feel a certain way. Maybe it made you, put you in a state of depression. It doesn't matter what it is. You then ask a question. You say, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? It's one of the most powerful questions you can ask yourself, especially in the midst of adversity, especially in the midst of challenge, especially when you have unfair circumstances knocking you down. We all have a choice. We all have a choice. Grant says he hopes I'm having a great day. I am having a great day. Question is, are you having a great day? I had a great day yesterday when my car ended up on a tow truck. No, it was 2 days ago. My car ended up on a tow truck. I had a great day. Now, was that great? No. Nobody wants to see their vehicle on a tow truck. Nobody wants to be waiting at the gas station for a tow truck driver to come on, and then you got to go to the spot, and you got to talk to him about what happened with the vehicle and all that. Nobody wants that, especially when you're on your way to the airport to pick folks up to have a business meeting. Nobody wants that. That was an unfair circumstance. It was not my fault. It wasn't because of neglect on my part. I'm not laying blame, but it wasn't me. But it's my responsibility to pick myself up, dust myself off, and move myself forward. Well, I hope that you can take this message today and apply it to your life. I hope you can take what I've said here to you today and think about the unfair circumstances in your life. Make a decision that when something happens, when things go left, don't go with them. I hope today you make a choice and say, you know what? I'm going to ask myself, what are you going to do? And then, of course, I'm going to get to work. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's another episode of Motivation on Demand. I do listen to your feedback. I do take a look at the comments. So let me know what you think. Somebody wanted me to try a little music situation, so I did that. This is happening every weekday, so I got another one coming tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow on Motivation on Demand. I'm John Guyton. This is John Guyton Studios, and I hope this was helpful. I hope you saw value from this. I hope you got some value, and if you did, share it with a friend. Let them know. Have them check it out as well. All right? And just like I always do, I'm going to pretend like I'm writing something important until the live stream ends. We'll see you.